Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Peter. This is Peter Fiction, the place where we do not have the brains for literary fiction. Welcome back to another week, another video. How are you doing? I hope you're doing very well. Summer is almost over. Today that I'm filming is the last day of summer. I hope you had the time of your lives this summer, and I wish you read many books and you enjoyed them. We are getting ready for fall, which is a nice season if you ask me. Hopefully the fall will be a much more productive season for me, and I believe in that it will be, because this summer was very lazy if you ask me, and hopefully things will change. As I mentioned in the last video, I would like to introduce myself as a writer, as an author. Today I decided that it would be a good idea to actually talk about all my works in progress. So this is things that I have started writing, things that I have written, things that I want to write, and I will share some details about all my projects. I will give names to all my projects so you will know which one I'm referring to in future videos, and I will tell you about the stage that each project is in now. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get on with the video. So let's discuss project number one, which let's call it Project Memory. I think this is a fitting name. It gives enough information for you to visualize it, but not enough to actually give away the story. So I am introducing Project Memory. I'm hiding the actual title because I don't want to share it just now. This is actually the first draft of the story that I have written. Let's take things from the start. This thing came to my head when I was very young. It was one of the first stories that came to my head. It's a contemporary story. It explores family relationships, and it's kind of connected to my own life, and this is why I don't want to share many things about this one just yet. Only if it gets published. It will, I know. I started writing this one in NaNoWriMo of 2020, when NaNoWriMo was still a good thing. Due to COVID, I had so much free time and I was in my home for the entirety of November, so it was the perfect time for me to actually sit down and write. I had two friends with me. We made a call every day and we wrote together, and we all hit 50,000 words by the end of November. This was the beginning of this draft, but since then I wasn't very consistent in my writing. There were months that I wasn't writing at all, and then maybe or 2 months I wrote for a bit, and I ended up finishing the first draft of this book back in November of 2024. This draft was 123,000 words, and in pages I think somewhere around 450 pages. Let me tell you that this book needs a lot of work. First of all, I started it in 2020 without a clear outline because I'm a pantser. Most of the things that happened in the first half, the half that I wrote in NaNoWriMo, I don't even remember anymore. So I definitely need to first reread the draft, keep notes on the published manuscript, and then I can make a clear outline of what I got, and I will make notes of all the changes that I want to make to that project. This definitely needs a lot of work, and I keep pushing it back because every month I say to myself that I will start reading it and edit it next month, and every month that comes I say that I will do the same thing next month, so I end up not doing it since November. I initially wanted to wait for 2 or 3 months, and this has turned now to a 9-month break from the book. I think I will pick it up soon, at least for the first round of edits. I really want to make notes. Just an example, I was reading the first couple of pages and one of the characters didn't even have a last name. I wrote his name and then in parentheses, insert last name here, because I didn't even want to come up with a last name for this character. Later, I ended up giving him a last name, but in the beginning, he doesn't have one, so it's weird. I also think that this book is not very well written because I was a bit younger in 2020 and I didn't have any experience. This was actually the first thing that I started writing, and for a contemporary story, I think 120,000 words for a manuscript are very high, so I need to chop some words down. Maybe around 90,000 or 95,000 words would be okay. Once I start working on this project again, I will make a video about it with all the process that I will follow. And that was project number 1. Now let's move on to project number 2, which I have my notebook here because this has not been printed. This project is called Project Beast. This is actually speculative fiction, weird and whimsical, and a fairy tale-esque with a dark twist. This started as a short story in my creative writing seminar, and I ended up expanding it into a novella. And then I came up with 2 more ideas for 2 different novellas set in this different world, but in different timelines. And I loved the idea of creating 3 different stories and figuring out ways to connecting these stories and have these stories be very intertwined with each other. Like if you take one of the stories out, the other 2 do not make much sense. This is my goal. I want to tell one story within 3 different ones. This, I am in the process of drafting it at the moment. I'm in the beginning of the drafting process, I guess, because I have only 10,000 words written down. I am very excited about this project. I estimate that the final word count for this will be around 90,000 words, 30,000 for every story. This is one of my biggest passion projects because I want to explore themes like mental health and family issues. I don't want to share other things about this, but I think if this will ever be published, which I think it will, in 5 years from now, mark your calendars, in 2030, this notebook will be in your hands, not this one, the things that it contains. You will have it in your bookshelf with a pretty cover. I don't even know what cover that would be. Maybe I would make a video about my wish list for my published work. Mark your calendars because I'm coming for you. And yeah, I am in the drafting process. I think I have to set a deadline for myself because I'm not good with keeping up with my schedule. So hopefully by the end of the year, I will have this finished. And hopefully I will join my creative writing seminar again so I can share this story with my peers and I can get some good edit notes for future reference. Yeah, and that was project number 2. And lastly, project number 3, we'll call it Project Library. As I mentioned in another video, I read the book That Wouldn't Burn because I wanted to see how Mark Lawrence explores a library setting because I'm working on a story myself set in a library. And this is the one that I was talking about. This is the one. This is actually another big passion project. Again, I don't want to share many details about this at the moment, but let's just say that this is an urban fantasy story and it is set within a library. I haven't started writing it yet. I have outlined some stuff. I have explored the magic system. I have created character descriptions and backstories. Like, I feel like I know my main character very, very well for this one. And once I finish with my second project that I mentioned, I think I will start drafting this one. The reason why I haven't started with this one yet is because I feel like this will be much more difficult to write based on all the things that I have thought about this story. And I always thought that I would need a bit more experience as a writer before starting this one. So after finishing Project Beast and maybe doing the first round of edits for Project Memory, I think I will start drafting this one because by then I will have acquired much more experience and I will be much more confident into working for this. The first 2 projects, I plan on them being standalones, but this one, I think it's going to be a trilogy. I have some stuff figured out for a sequel, not the entire trilogy yet. Once I get my hands on this, I will make sure to come up with all the details that I need for sequels so I can set them up properly. This is still in my head, but I'm very excited about the magic system for this. And I hate it when people do that, like, you haven't read a magic system like this, you haven't read a world like this, like the one I have created. No, bitch, you have. But it's unique in its own way. I have my own twist on it. I wish I could share more details about them because, as I said, I get a sense of accomplishment when I share my ideas and see people's reactions. But yeah, I think for now it wouldn't be good to share more things. And yeah, these are my 3 projects. As a person, I don't really like working on different stuff at the same time. I'm not one of those writers that have too many ideas and they can't decide which one to work on. No, I know which stories I want to work on because every story that I want to write means something to me. It's not like an idea that got me excited. No, whatever I'm writing, I want it to mean something to me and I want to put a part of my soul in the story. So this is why I never had this problem with picking what to write. When it comes to short stories, every time I tried to write a short story, like it happened in the second project, I end up expanding it into a bigger story, and this is, I think, an issue that I need to work on, because the best way to learn story structure is to work on short stories, and I need to work on it as soon as possible. Maybe write 3 or 4 stories so I can have them ready to submit somewhere. I only have written one story and I submitted it to a contest, and it, let's just say, it didn't go well. But I'm still confident that I will have much better results in time. I will work on myself and my craft, and better things are coming, I'm sure. And if you're watching this video in 2030, you're welcome. This is the video for today. If you have reached this part of the video, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time and assistance as always. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel so you can get notified about when I post new videos. And I will see you in the next video next week. Bye!